Hello and welcome everyone. You're watching live coverage on One Play Sports, and welcome to the final weekend of the ISF World Schools Championship Online Chess 2020 being played on the online platform Premium Chess. And also a very good evening and welcome to the former World Junior Girls Champion, a woman grandmaster, our expert in the house, Soumya Swaminathan. Soumya, hello, welcome back, and what an exciting weekend lined up for us yet again.
Hello, Chaitanya. So great to meet you again. And I'm really looking forward to the final weekend of the first ISF World School Chess Championship that's being held online for the first time. Already, it's a very exciting event. And within the next 2 days, we'll know who will win the whole tournament. So it's going to be a lot of fun to cover the games and also discuss them with you. I really enjoyed covering the qualifiers as well. And last week was the under 14 girls and the boys finals, which was very thrilling. There was a 4-way tie, in fact, if I remember correctly, in the under 14 boys section. So.
Yes, absolutely. It was a thriller. Both the weekends we were trying to predict as to who would be the clear favorites, but all our predictions failed because the online platform, they have talented chess players across the world. Before moving ahead, we'll have the game started in the next 5 minutes. We'll just quickly go through the rules and the tournament details of the first ever school chess in the year 2020. It's being played on the virtual platform, that's Premium Chess. Participation of boys and girls from 35 countries and 5 continents in this online championship. Of course, ISF has allocated the broadcasting rights to One Play Sports. The two organizations signed a partnership agreement to broadcast 3 rounds of the competition, that's the under 17 qualifications and the finals, to the One Play Sports platforms, that's their website, Facebook, and the YouTube channel. The rules are right in front of you. The players are divided into 2 age categories, that's under 17 and under 14. The tournaments are being played in the blitz time control. It means that every player will have 3 minutes thinking time, and every move they'll get an increment of 2 seconds. The qualifying tournaments that we covered a couple of weeks back were of 11 rounds, and the finals, of course, are of 9 rounds and being played as per the Swiss format. These tournaments start at 1400 UTC, 1930 hours IST, and 2200 hours SGT. The technical meetings are being made 5 minutes prior to the beginning of each tournament. So right now, as we are speaking, the technical meetings are in progress, wherein the kids who are participating are getting their final do's and don'ts. And it's being played on the Premium Chess ISF playing arena. So what are these kids playing for? These kids are playing for this, the prize fund. The winner of each category will be rewarded. So if we talk of under 17, they have a right to participate at the ISF Summer Gymnasiad in China and also be awarded by 1 laptop. And last weekend, we witnessed the finals of the under 14 boys and girls category, and the winners have a right to participate at the ISF under 15 World School Games in Serbia and of course be awarded by a laptop. Not to forget, the first 8 ranked players in each age and gender category will get the ISF ranking certificate, while all the rest finalists will get a participation certificate from the ISF. So it's not only about winning, as every sport always keeps on saying the cliche that it's about participating, and you get equal recognition for participation from ISF in the form of a participation certificate.
That's amazing.
Start. Yes. Go ahead, Soumya.
Yeah, that's amazing, the prizes. And also, today we will know who will win all of that. So the kids must be feeling very excited and perhaps nervous as well. Slightly, maybe.
I'm sure they are a little anxious, a little nervous. Playing online, they're not able to see their opponent, not knowing who the opponent would be, because Again, it's a jumbled format. So you don't know who you're playing. It's the blitz, so it's 3 minutes game. In the next 3 hours, they'll have to play 9 matches. So that's quite intense and nervous. They surely must be.
Yeah. Yeah. But we never know. Like once the tournament begins, you're in this tournament zone. Yeah. Like only before the
Yes, yes.
first round, let's say you have all these pre-game jitters, but as soon as the games begin, you forget about the other worries and you're just simply focused on making good moves over the board. So they should be fine.
Oh yes, absolutely. As it always happens, before it starts, there is a nervousness, but once you are into it, once the game starts, I mean, it's just absolutely fine for you because you are in the zone, you are in the game, so nothing tends to bother you. But before it starts, might be a little nervous. So it's 7:30, I think, a couple of minutes remaining. So I think the referees are just giving their final do's and don'ts. Playing online, that's something that we discussed the other weekend as well, wherein there are these
Yeah.
chances of cheating, but of course there are special anti-cheating detection software as well in place by ISF.
Mhm.
And there we go, top match, and
Oh,
it's Elena and Anahita.
right. So this is the first round, and Black has opted for Benoni defense. The Benoni setup from Black, which is actually a very aggressive and dynamic opening. Usually, Black is playing for three results in this opening. It's not solid at all. Both the sides have equal chances here because basically it leads to very open positions. So there are a lot of ideas of breaking, taking the right break, exchanging pieces, and controlling squares. Wow. Yeah, I don't like this move bishop g4 so much. Actually, black usually develops the knight to d7, but I'm wondering if black can simply take the pawn now. Let's say bishop into f3, bishop into f3, and pawn into pawn, and then rook into pawn. Okay, black decides not to go for it. Um, yeah, well, but now, yeah, now still white has to take a decision. But I think white can play h3 over here, perhaps. Um, with the idea to play bishop f3, pawn into e5, bishop into h5. That is an option. Or one drawback of h3 is it weakens the g3 square. So h3, black can even go back with the bishop to c8 and then threaten knight to g3. So white instead took on d6. Yeah, it's a strange setup by white. I mean, not strange, but strange decision by white to go for e5 so fast. But maybe it works tactically because now white is threatening d6 and then knight c7. So black has to be very careful not to lose an exchange in that fork.
Yeah.
Mm, I think knight a6 could be a move here, controlling the c7 square.
This
Knight
is the top
d7,
board
but it
game, so
allows knight to
important for these
c7.
players. Yes, important for these girls to register a victory in their first match, because we have seen that we have girls and boys winning on a trot 5 to 6 games. So important to have a good start.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Now bishop f7, king f7, knight g5 is the idea. But doesn't it lose a piece? Because king f7, knight g5, king f8, and queen b3. But then queen f5? Okay, she did not take.
Mm.
So that's out of question. What we were calculating did not happen over the board. Oh, Queen F5, Knight H7 mate. Yeah, okay, that was the point. There were some other tactics there, but there is no time to discuss that. White is now an exchange up, and black doesn't have any compensation as such because yeah, now they are even in the end game, and the pawn on d6 is too far advanced. White should be careful not to lose it. Maybe knight c7 is a good idea here. Knight c7 and then develop your bishop to okay, knight c3, and now maybe rook e6, rook e1, but now rook f1 allows bishop d4. So king f2 is sort of forced, and now bishop d4. Oh, king h2 was bishop d4, king rook on e1 is hanging, right? So that's why king f2, and now bishop e3 perhaps. Okay, she goes g4 first. It's a much better move actually than bishop e3. And now king f1, or yeah, king f1 would be okay. She plays bishop e3, but knight f4, bishop d4. Okay, knight f4, bishop d4. I think knight f4 was slightly better than this. Okay, knight f6. Now maybe rook into d6. But yeah, now bishop bishop into d4, and pawn into d4, rook d3. Okay, knight e4. But, yeah, this is also okay. I mean, there is no way to save the d4 pawn. That's the problem. The knight on d7 is very oddly placed for the moment. It cannot protect the d4 pawn.
Is h8
So rook
a
into
good
d4.
position for the king, Soumya?
No, not yeah, but actually this position is already quite bad for black because he's an exchange down, and white is even a pawn up along with being an exchange up. So even if the king was more in a better position, even then it would have been much better for white anyway. And now he's losing, black is losing knight as well, one of the knights, because both the knights support each other and she has attacked both the knights at the same time. So yeah, white will win this game. She's the top seed of the tournament and she's started quite well. Now rook d7 and idea rook c8 checkmate. Maybe rook c8. King g2, bring the king. Okay, this is also fine.
Yes, Anaita Jayadevar in white is very comfortably placed with a minute and a half at her disposal, whereas Elena Lupascu just has around 12 seconds. She might get a couple of seconds in improvement after the move, but looks like Anaita is clearly the favorite here to win this.
Yeah, she's going to win this soon.
Just a quick reminder to all our viewers joining in, these are 3 minutes matches, so that's the blitz time control, and these are kids sitting at home in their respective homes and playing an international tournament online. That's the beauty of chess. You know, you can sit home and participate in an international tournament, making the best of the available time.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yes, there it goes as expected. Anaita Jayadevar wins it.
Yeah.
Comfortably with almost a minute and 40 seconds at her disposal. So it's very difficult for us to guess, but we might just start saying that it's a good start for her, and she
Yeah,
might,
for
if she
sure.
continues the same way, that she can make it to the top.
Yeah, she played a good game, and Black was fighting well up to one point, but then she lost the thread of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, this This could be a draw. So let's see. Why is she playing king e6? Okay, that's also. I'm not very. Yeah, king e6 not a good move, I think. Okay, maybe this is also fine. Now f3. We have to count. The thing with pawn ending is b3 now. Yeah, white will be a tempo up. That is the point. So let's say king c6, king e5. We have to count this endgame. King b5, king f6, king b4, king into g5, king b3, king g6, and white will be faster, I suppose. But b1 is a check, so b1 is a check. So they will queen at the same time if they had gone for that, but they didn't. So now white is clearly winning. Yeah, it was a bad decision from black to exchange the rooks. She could have just moved her rook on the third rank when white offered to exchange the rooks, and it would not. I think it would have been a draw in that case. So yeah.
There's quite a lot of difference in their ratings as well. Gumi
Yeah,
Panyan
by the way,
2006.
yeah,
Yeah.
white is okay. White, she could have played king g4 actually, but okay. Anyway, it would have been the same result. So now she needs to bring her king, and black will soon be out of move, so she'll lose the g4 pawn, then the h3 pawn. All the pawns will fall one by one. Yeah, there is a 600-point rating difference between the two, so it is quite an upset.
Yeah. So just check if any more matches. No. So first round is done. And we have Tulegenov, who's on top. Also requesting a producer if you could just make sure that the names are more visible. If you could just drag the column if that's possible, so that we can get a look at the names, the entire names. On the top position, we have almost how many have won their first one? 19 somewhere, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 19
Yeah,
with a
19
perfect
girls
score as of now.
So there was just one draw. There was a draw on only one board between Lagmari and Mudiakev. That's it. There are 40 players playing in the tournament, as we know. Like 40 girls qualified for the finals, so 20 boards. Out of them, 19 were decisive.
Yes, so the first match, and we have 19 girls who have won their first match, the first round. 8 more to go. So there we go, round 1 finished, and the next round to begin shortly. And yes, we have a lot of time in between rounds. So all those watching us on Facebook and YouTube, post it, fire in your questions. We have our in-house expert, woman grandmaster, along with us, and she will be more than glad in answering all your doubts, all your questions. Anything that you wish to ask about international chess, world chess, Indian chess, feel free to ask us questions live on our Facebook streaming or on YouTube streaming. So we're live on 3 platforms of One Play Sports, on the official website of One Play Sports, on YouTube, as well as on Facebook. And that's the beauty of broadcasting, isn't it, Soumya? You were discussing it last week. All these kids can, of course, at the end of these rounds, at the end of the finals, they can always go back, see how they have performed. They can listen to your views about the moves that they could have made or the mistakes that they have made. That's just instant, they get the instant coaching and instant rectification of their mistakes.
That's true. They can actually check what we were saying and try to match it with their thoughts. That would definitely be beneficial. And in general, also to have their own games being broadcasted live and to see that an audience was watching their games must be giving them a lot of confidence, and they must enjoy, right? Like, obviously, for any school going kid, for their own games to be broadcasted live is a matter of great joy, I think. So for both reasons, they would surely be checking the broadcast. I think so.
They surely will. I can say that 100%. If they know that it's being broadcasted live, it is going to be recorded and kept online. They surely will be
Uh-huh.
seeing how they have performed and what you have been saying about their performance, about their moves, about the mistakes that they've committed, or about the good moves that they have done in the time period of 3 minutes. Okay, so still
Yeah.
waiting for questions coming in online. We have Soumya Swaminathan, former world junior champion. So any questions that you have regarding the world of chess? We had a lot of questions coming in last weekend. The questions about when do we see chess in the Olympics, an ideal age for a kid to start, about the role of parents in encouraging a kid in playing chess and so on. Always there are a lot of questions in the minds of people. Soumya, chess. I mean, you've been playing for so many years. Anyone who has asked you this generally, "Ye kya hai? What is this? How do you go ahead? How have you learned it?" So many curious questions. Always curious minds about the game.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, recently, 2 days back, I was reading an interview of Vladimir Kramnik. He was the former world champion and one of the
Yeah,
top sports persons, top chess players ever. So he mentioned he made a very interesting statement that playing chess can never be bad for a kid, learning chess. So it's always good to introduce your kids to chess and then they can see whether to continue with it or not.
yeah.
It will always add some view in their life and never take away anything. And I thought that was a very nice way to put it and makes sense for sure. Uh, so that's one thing I would definitely agree to. I also, always make sure that I teach all the kids I know at least some basic chess, and then they can decide whether they want to continue with it or not. But at least introduce them to the game because I think it definitely sharpens the mind, and there is uh, basically chess teaches you a lot of things at the same time. It teaches you rational thinking and prophylaxis as to anticipation, basically, of what will be the consequences of your decision. So not only decision making but to also anticipate the consequences of your decision. And sometimes you make a bad decision on the board, but then you have to still play that position, and there is a chance to basically stick by your decision and try to make it work out for you by looking for resources. So it's basically like life, and I really think learning chess can benefit us in a lot of ways in life. That's what I feel. So a lot of chess players actually think in terms of chess when they are making a decision in life. I have noticed,
Yeah.
especially kids who have started learning chess at a very young age, let's say, and their whole life has been into chess and around chess. Such players, I have a few friends who think of life decision in terms of chess. So it's very interesting to see that.
The interesting aspect there, getting a lot of life skills by just playing chess. I mean, you make a move and you have to stand by it. There is no way you can just say, sorry, sorry, I want to take it back. I want to take my pawn back. I want to take my knight back. You have made the move, you stand by it, and then you start thinking that now I've made this move, right or wrong, doesn't matter. I have to stand by it, and then I have to think of how do I control the game and go ahead. So
Yeah.
some of the decisions that you take in life as well, similar to the game of chess. Wonderful point there. Kids, so start playing chess. And as I'm also a champion now, so I have to give you an update about my proceedings with my mobile phone. I got beaten on the hard mode. I defeated my phone on the medium mode, but hard mode was a
Okay.
little too
That's
tough
great.
for me. So maybe this weekend, and
Yeah.
by next week I can conquer the hard mode as well.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. So I'm sure
Yeah.
you will conquer the hard mode. As when you keep practicing, I'm sure like one day it will just happen.
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely. And
glad to
this is
know.
just one game which is for everyone. One game, this is for everyone. That is something you can just sit home and you can practice on your own. You can just play. So many apps are available, even online. So many platforms are available. So this is one game that you can play personally online, or if you wish to learn, go ahead as well. In the meanwhile, we have the second round that has begun, and we'll again go to the top board, and it's Anahita Zahidifar again taking on one,
Playing black.
and the ratings with white is 1961. Over to you, Soumya.
Yeah. So Anahita is black this time, and white has opted for the London system. It is very popular nowadays, but she has not yet developed her knight to f3. Okay, she did. So yeah, this system is very, very popular from white nowadays because it's basically a setup that white takes, and probably black will go for bishop d6 now, right? And exchange the bishop if white agrees. So white will, I think, exchange the bishop now. Or she could play knight e5 as well. No, knight e5 would run into queen c7 and it's a bit awkward. So yeah, queen d2 makes sense. Castle. Bishop d3. Maybe rook e8 now with the idea. Or maybe queen c7. Even queen c7 is possible. Knight. Okay, she plays rook b8 with the idea to play b5 at some point. This is more or less equal, I would say, this position at the moment. Black is not doing badly at all, I feel. But white has this idea of putting her knight on e5 and then playing f4, which can be a bit annoying. Let's see if white goes for it. She plays knight e5, maybe b4 now. Okay, she first plays rook f8. I'm sure she's going to push b4 at some point. So white will, I guess white will play on the king side in this game and black will play on the queen side. And it will be a race of who is first. So I'm sure f4, we are going to see f4 on the board right now. Not sure why white is thinking, okay, she wants to play rook c1. Queen c7. Now, wow, queen e2. Okay, she's attacking b5. But okay, at least now f4. I'm definitely expecting f4 at some point. Why is white not going for it? Is there a reason? f4, f5 makes a lot of sense in this position. Okay. She went for a4, bishop a6. Interesting. Is white winning the a4 pawn now by force? Let's see if black can defend it. Because the problem is you cannot... I mean, queen b6 has no threat basically because rook into a4 and queen b2 does not work because the knight on c6 is hanging. And if you take on e5, then I take with the pawn, attacking the knight on f6. So let's see if black finds some resource here. She plays queen b6, but yeah, the problem is rook a4. What do you do next? Not threatening anything. I would have imagined a move like knight e4 perhaps instead of queen b6. I think that would have been more useful. So will she take on e5? I think she will. Pawn into e5 now. Knight e4 perhaps. But then rook to b4. because a6 is defended with the queen on e2. Now queen to c7 attacking e5, queen to a7. So she wants to keep the pressure on f2 and not allow white to play f3. Bishop d3. Yeah, bishop d3 is a good move, I think. Bishop d3 is a good move. Yeah, white is surely better. Maybe queen e3 even. Queen e3 allows to be no need of that. Bishop b1 is possible. Pawn to b4 is possible. Pawn to b4, I think, would be the most logical move here. Is there any other move here which also is useful? Okay, she plays pawn to b4. Now knight d3 makes sense. And try to hold this end game. Queen a3, is it possible? She plays rook c8, putting pressure on the c pawn. So queen d4 was also a move, I guess. But okay, she plays rook c1, which I don't like. Queen a3. Now queen b3, preventing. Oh, d4. Oh no, d4. Oh no, she allowed d4 here. This was, yeah, this was a big miss. And I think black is better now actually, because the pawn on c3 is much stronger than the pawn on b4. White can white still hold? I'm not sure if white can still hold. Okay, let's see. Maybe c2 now. Or yeah, c2 or queen b3. She plays 6, making an escape square for her king. Makes sense. Now c2 or yeah, c2. Okay, queen b3. Queen b3 is also useful idea. Rook c4 and take the pawn on b4. Yeah, white is really struggling here. Really struggling. Oh, she should not have allowed d4. Rook c1 itself was a very bad move, I feel, because it allows all these tactics because of the pin on the c file. So queen d3. Now check and g6. But the e5 pawn is also weak. So okay, rook c2 now. One move, preventing any c2 stuff. Okay, she plays queen d7. So now maybe rook to f4. Is it possible? Rook to f4. She goes for it. And now rook c2. Why not rook c2? Rook c2 allowed queen e4, is it? I like rook c2 more. Okay. Rook c4 with the idea to play c2 perhaps. Yeah. Black has not achieved much. White has managed to create some sort of a defense. Time is also equal. Okay, now black is going to play rook c5 next. So she plays g3. Now f4 run into g5. I think so. Oh, she plays d5 with the idea to play rook queen d3 perhaps, or queen b4 even. Yeah, she plays g5. Even h5 was a move actually, but okay. Yeah, this endgame. Let's say I go to king. Yeah, this endgame looks like winning for black. Let's see.
Running out of time is white. Just a couple of seconds. We'll quickly have to make her move for the increment of 2 seconds.
Yeah, this is winning, I think, for black because the problem is her pawns are very, very weak. She won on time, but she would have anyway won the game because a next move for black would be h5, and then
Mhm.
king h4, rook f3 is and then take the pawn on f4 as well, and then she would be two pawns up, and then the e5 pawn would also fall. So good game by black. Actually, white was slightly better if she had not gone for this rook c1 idea in the middle game and blundered into d4. Oh, this is Nia. Do you remember following her in the qualifiers, Chaitanya?
Yes, in the qualifications, yes, we had witnessed quite a few matches of Nia.
Yes. So yeah, black is completely winning. She's a rook out. Let's see how she converts her advantage. I have no doubt that she'll win this game. Right, so she exchanges. Basically, when you're material up, it's better to exchange all the pieces, especially when you're a rook up. Just exchange. Yeah, now she has exchanged the rooks as well. So now you are a clear rook up. Yeah, like you have a rook and black has just one pawn, and which will, sorry, white has just one pawn, which will anyway be eliminated by you at some point. And then you will play a rook and king versus king end game, which is easy to convert.
Seven more matches in progress. Yes, we get one quickly for the last 7 seconds that remain.
Yeah, here as well, black is rook up, so the same situation and the same. Basically, when you're a material up, you should immediately try to go into the end game so that your material advantage. Oh my God, black blundered 96. This is a draw now. Because black blundered knight e6, she couldn't have taken bishop e6 because pawn to f8 would have been a queen. Um,
Yeah.
so on the 79th move, basically, she blundered her piece and then um, that's unfortunate. Okay, so it's a draw.
It's a drawn game, so there'll be half a point being shared by both of them. Just quickly look if any more matches are being played in round two. It looks like it's done. Just quickly have a glance at the standings at the end of round two, and perfect score is now reduced from 19 to 7. So we have the top 7 with a perfect score of 2.
Tell me, Chaitanya, can we follow the games on Premium Chess platform as well, or the games are being broadcasted on One Play Sports only?
Yes, so for us, viewers and broadcasters, so generally for viewers, it's only One Play Sports that they'll have to follow. But the premium chess will be accessible for those if you have registered for the tournament. That's when you get the official
Okay.
entry in the online platform of premium chess. But
Okay.
otherwise, it's just we'll have to keep watching it, following it on One Play Sports for all our viewers.
Right.
Yes, so then that's the end of the second round. The next round will begin shortly. And as expected, we have questions that are coming in for our woman grandmaster, Soumya. The first question for you coming from Vishal. And we'll just wait for Soumya to be visible nice on screen there in a dual window. Yes, the question from Vishal is what is the ideal age to start learning chess?
Uh, there's as early as possible, actually. I think kids can pick up the game at the age of 3. I mean,
Okay.
I think it's a good age to introduce a kid to chess because by that time they do understand, they do understand the rules. That's what I've observed. And also, I was talking to a few players who, showed amazing results at a very young age, basically. And I realized that they started playing chess itself very early. So that really went into their favor. So the earlier you start, your basics will be covered maybe in the first 1 year, and then you can already by the age of 5 you can actually start learning something deeper, perhaps. The later you start is just that it's fine. I mean, that's not a problem, but it's just that there's a gap between you and the other kids, at least initially, and you'll have to spend some extra time covering that gap. So that's the only thing. Below 10 for sure. I mean, if you want to pursue sport professionally, that's what I mean. Otherwise, of course, you can start playing chess at any point in life. But if you want to pursue the sport professionally, I would say below 10 is a more realistic age to start playing chess, to have realistic chances of making it into professional chess. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for that, and thank you for the question, Vishal. Question: what is the ideal age to start learning chess? And Soumya says as early as possible. She even said age of 3, because you can just get the basics right as far as the movement of the pawns are concerned, the rook, knight, as to how to move on the board is something that a 3-4 year old can learn, and then advanced moves once as they progress in the age they can get professional training, and they can get hold of the advanced moves and the advanced ways of playing the game.
Yeah, it's a good
Yes, so
question
then
because I was recently thinking over this. My one of my friends had a baby girl recently, and I was
okay,
thinking over
okay,
this as to what age should kids be introduced to chess. So I would to thank Vishal for the question as well.
okay. That's nice. And it can always be interesting for the kids, if you have a little fancy chess boards as well, with fancy
Yeah,
knights, maybe a fancy queen. And the kids
yeah,
always like different colors, maybe different controlling of the horse or the knights. And maybe show them a horse and say that this horse is in control of you. The board is in front of you. There are knights. You have a big army. It can be like a nice fairy tale for 3-year-old kids. This is your army.
yeah, for
You
sure.
are the king, and you control your horse, you control your camel, you control your rooks as well.
Yeah, for sure. I, in fact, really like colorful chess sets. My chess set is quite colorful, it's not black and white.
Okay,
I really like
okay.
colorful chess sets, even for me. So I'm sure for kids, it's very, very attractive. It just brings up your creativity and imagination, right? Colors, they just enhance your mind to work in a more colorful manner as well when you see colors. So that's how it works, I think.
So
Yeah.
absolutely it does. And if you want to drop the attention of young kids, little children, you always have to do something little fancy. And this is also an attempt made by ISF to draw international attention and more participation towards chess. These bits format, when it's just 3 minutes. I've seen so many sports evolving to make sure that there is more and more attention, that it gathers more viewership for faster games that happen, may that be cricket, may that be kabaddi, may that be hockey, football. They have evolved over times, and this is something that we see with chess as well.
True. It is evolving right now. It's in a huge evolution space actually. Chess, even it's even getting very online oriented. So
Yeah.
many tournaments are shifting online, and I think it's only because of the pandemic that every chess player is taking online chess so seriously. Otherwise, there were, of course, many players who were already playing online, and there were many players who were never playing online. But now everybody has realized that you need to improve your online chess. You cannot lag behind. That realization has set in.
Yes, that's right. Also, convenient to just sit home and keep playing. A lot of topics that we have discussed over the last 3 weekends. That
Yeah.
not a lot of resources are required as well. Like for example, equipments. Later on, yes, as far as training is concerned, yes, you have to get in a little resources there. But just to play, you don't need anything. Just a software or maybe a board. Meanwhile, yes, we get confirmation. Three is about to begin, and we'll just have a look at the top board, and it's going to be, oh, we see the second game maybe. Yes, so that's Pipia and Nia.
Yeah, two Georgians playing on the second board. So Nia is opened with the English opening, and Black is replied. It's pure English opening. Mm, let's see. Probably they both are well prepared. I have a feeling. Mm-hmm. E3. So knight she'll develop to E2 and then try to play D4. Black will try to play D5. She plays D6. Okay. So she wants to play bishop E6 and D5 at some point, if possible. So white will first play D4 herself. But she's thinking maybe she wants to play rook B1 and B4. That is possible. But then rook B1 allows bishop F5, D3, knight B4, this stuff. So, yeah, not advisable. Yeah, goes B4. White has a choice, actually. I think she can take with the knight. She can take with the pawn as well. Yeah, she took with the knight. Now, probably black will also take, or black can leave it. Black can play knight e5. Then knight e5, okay. B3 is possible here. Queen e2 is possible. B3 is more likely. Yeah, B3. Then if black plays, I don't know, what can black play here? Maybe she needs to develop her bishop, but then the pawn on B7 is hanging. So she probably needs to play C6 at some point, but then the pawn on D6 will become weak. She played rook e8, which is a useful move. So white could play bishop b2 here. And then what does black do? Maybe c6, yeah? Bishop b2, c6 is quite likely. And then a5. Yeah, this is possible. C6, a5 structure is decent, I think, for black. She plays rook b8, acha. So she wants to develop her bishop. She probably wants to go to d7. No, d7 will allow f4, yeah? She played h3. She can play bishop d7, f4, knight c6. That is one possibility. Second possibility, yeah, I don't like rook b8 so much, but okay. I mean, it's not so helpful, but okay, I understand. And then she wants, like for f4, she'll obviously go knight c6. So let's say she played queen c2. Yeah, queen c2 is a decent move. So probably a6 with the idea to play d5. Yeah. So now rook b8 becomes useful. She managed to make it useful. Now b5 allows f4 and the knight is hanging. So black should not blunder. Should be careful. Yeah, not easy. Not easy to play. She played b5, but what if f4? Okay, cb5, now f4. Why not f4? what is the problem? Let's see. Oh, the problem is f4, b4, pawn into knight. No, there is no problem. Yeah. Actually, there is no problem. See, f4, b4, we can take the knight on e5. If she takes with the pawn, we can play knight c6. She played knight g4. Yeah, we could have played knight c6. And if she would have taken the knight on c3, we would have taken the knight on f6. And if she would have taken the bishop, we would have also taken the bishop. So we would have been a piece up in that position. So this was the idea, to play knight g4 and attack pawn on e3. But now knight into c6. Can she play rook c8? Achha. Oh, this is a cunning trap. Bishop d5. Yeah, bishop d5 solves all of black's problems. Black is better now. Black is better now actually. Abhi knight e3. Why king g7? Knight e3 was better, no? Okay, fine.
Black is also wonderfully placed on the clock there, almost a minute and 15 seconds, whereas Nia in white just has 11 seconds.
No, king g7 is probably a better decision than knight e3, because knight e3 would have allowed queen c3 and the rook on d5 is protected. So black was correct to go for this. And now knight e3. Now knight e3, winning the exchange. Even knight f2 seems okay. She will go for either of the moves. Yeah. What? Black lost. White lost on time.
White lost on time. Yes,
What?
time expired for white, so black wins.
Wow.
Yes, she was on 10 seconds.
That was sudden.
Maybe.
That was sudden. Yeah.
Yes,
Because it's
yes.
only 24 moves. They've played only 24 moves actually. Oh wow.
Can it
Good
happen
game
that
by
she
black.
might have just ignored it? Maybe ignored it, or
Yeah. She was thinking too
what
much.
could have been the
She
reasons?
probably just. Yeah, sometimes you just forget about the clock, right? You're just so much into the position that you want to find a good move, and then you forget about it. Maybe lack of practice. I don't know. Okay, so knight e3. What is this position? Black is better, no? Black is
Stop board
very,
game here,
very.
Anaita.
Oh, black is winning? I don't know. Winning, yeah? Black is winning. Bishop e3 now. Mate on f2. Okay. Basically, white will. Why queen e2? Queen into c1. Queen into c1 was winning on the spot. Okay, this is. What? Black was completely winning this game. Even this
So under
position,
17
black is
girls,
winning.
we have seen back-to-back errors in time management here. That's also chess. The blitz format is another life skill. Soumya, we can add on to that life skill of time management here. Just have 3 minutes, so you have to keep an attention on that as well. You can't just keep thinking without having a look at the time. So being in good positions, still losing the match because just ignoring the left side bottom or the left side top.
This could be a draw, but let's see how it goes. No, actually, black will win this. Sorry, because he has three passed pawns. Okay, and it's not possible to control all three of them with his king and bishop at the same time. So, yeah, this is winning for white, black, sorry. Again, it's an upset because black is 600 points lower rated than white, but she seems to be in charge.
Quite some difference there, and yes, immediately after the queening move, white has resigned, and it's Alam Maklouf with a rating of 1419, almost 600 lesser than for opponent. Still a couple of matches remaining in third round. Quickly move on, just last 5 seconds of this match. Soumya?
Yeah, this is a draw. This is a theoretical drawn position. I'm sure. Okay, let's see how they play. But it's basically a drawn position because you can even play rook c7 here. This is still a draw. You can play king g8, and if king h6, the main point is to play rook c8 here.
Yeah.
Rook c8 now. What? Oh, she lost on time, but rook c8 was a draw because there is no way that white can break through in this position, even though she's pawn up and she has a very good, she has placed her pieces really well.
Yes, so we just witnessed
Basically,
3 matches here which have ended because of the expired time. That's of 3 minutes. So that's the end of the third round. We'll quickly have a look at the standings and a perfect score for the top 4.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to play faster, I guess. I mean, it's hard, I understand, but 3 games already, yeah? All the 3 games we saw were decided on time in the third round. Let's see how it goes in the next. Because 2 of the games, the side which was winning just lost on time. Especially Anahita's game, it was completely crushing. Like it's very, very, it's a very lucky win. Very lucky win. Yeah, okay. Let's move on. So sometimes you just can't get over it. Yeah. Her opponent surely needs to get over it. Whether we get over it or not is another question. She definitely needs to get over it and focus on the next rounds. So yeah, 4 players on 3 points and 3 players on 2.5. Quite a few on 2. Not bad.
Yes, all of them still have a chance to go to the top. There's 6 more rounds to go. So you never know where can there be an upset, because as we have seen, 3 minutes can go quickly in the game of chess if you're just concentrating on the board, ignoring the time. Won't work that way. And in the meanwhile, we are getting a lot of appreciation on Facebook as well, a lot of interaction from viewers cheering on the little kids. And that's the only way you can cheer, isn't it, in chess? Either make a comment or either just keep praying, but you cannot open your mouth, you cannot keep clapping, you cannot go on banging those different instruments. So playing online, we might even have the parents of the kids sitting in a different room and just hoping that their kid is winning by making a comment on Facebook, because that's all that we can hear in chess. Complete silence.
Yeah, that's true. You can send hearts for the kids. They'll be happy to see them. Positive vibes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, usually parents are, and usually, parents who accompany the kids for tournaments, they are just sitting outside. Some of them, it's very interesting to see them. Some of them are reading a book. Some of them are constantly checking the phone, checking their kids' game on the phone. Some of them are simply playing. Some other things. It's very interesting.
Oh, yes, always, because you're talking of kids under 17, under 14, can't expect them to travel alone whenever there were tournaments. But now we'll have the parents sitting in a different room and just playing, maybe watching it online on One Play Sports as
They
to
must
how
be
their kids are
following the
doing, or
games.
maybe sitting right next to laptops. But I don't think that's happening, because that will just result in loss of concentration for the child. A little conscious about the father or the mother sitting, maybe scolding or
Mhm.
appreciating. So I think the kids will just, I think, feel better if there is no one in the room, isn't it? How is it with you, Soumya?
Yeah.
When you're playing online, you want anyone sitting next to you?
No, no. Anyway, it's not even allowed, I think. I don't know. It depends on the tournament, but usually there is a webcam checking the
Okay.
players. So you're not even allowed to have anyone in the room. And so that's one issue. But in general, also, I prefer to play alone and be by myself. So, yeah. It would be very weird
Yes,
to have
always,
someone
always.
conscious, right? Even when you're talking to someone on the phone, if someone else enters the room, you get a little conscious. So I think while playing chess, for sure, you will be a little aware of this person being in the room, right? And you don't want your concentration to go
Yes.
that way. You want to just be focused. So yeah.
Yes, of course. I'm sure all parents also realize that it's important not to disturb the concentration of a kid majorly in the game of chess. Just 3 minutes playing online, different challenges, different atmosphere, and something that we have always kept mentioning: the control of the mouse, making no errors in the movements of the pawn or the rook. So making sure that you have a good control over the mouse, hoping that your Wi-Fi or internet connectivity doesn't give up midway. So all these are is somewhere in the back of the mind of the players, and I'm sure the parents do equally have an important role in making sure that all these things don't hamper the concentration of the child.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And they must be bringing them some food and all also, I think. In between, because the kids can't get up. No, like there's no
Yeah.
time to get up. I'm just imagining. Mm.
Of course, 3 hours is a long time for under
Chawan,
14 or an under 17-year-old to stay
we
awake.
get chawan.
So,
Do you remember during exams we used to have chawanprash in the morning?
yes,
I
yes,
don't know if the
always,
kids
always. Mothers
nowadays
are
have.
always up to it. Mothers are always up to it with some of the other with some of the other proteins or dry fruits quickly coming in and making sure that the kid just gets the left hand, gets a dry fruit and keeps eating it. Sure, the mothers are definitely up to something. They cannot, they can promise you, but they cannot have the child sitting in a room for 3 hours without eating something. Just not the mother's way to do it, isn't it?
Yes, yes, that's true. In general, also it's recommended. Like if you're playing, then it's better to have some food near you. Yeah, like in case you're hungry, what do you do? Just eat. It's always better to keep some food nearby, like rather than get up, go get it, lose some 2 minutes on the clock.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. How was it with you, Soumya, during your games, the long classical format? What are the things that you carried? Water or any protein shakes or
No, I always
dry
eat a
fruit,
lot during
fruits?
the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I always eat a lot. So I eat fruits, then dry fruits, protein, some not protein but Nutribar usually, and I also keep a chocolate in case I'm low on energy. Then I eat the chocolate. Otherwise, I
Right.
don't.
Hmm.
I also carry electrol or energal or basically electrolytes. For because you feel I usually feel like super tired during the game. I mean, I generally also drink a lot of water, like compared to average, and during the game I need it even more. So I also drink some electrolytes. So yeah, I eat a lot, but it's unusual. It's not usual. Like normally, chess players, they eat maybe they just carry one thing usually, but in my case, there's some exception. Yeah. It depends on how you feel, right? You have to understand yourself, and you shouldn't sell because you're tired or hungry at the end of the game and blunder something, right?
Yeah.
That's the most
Yes,
important thing.
yes.
So you have to understand yourself.
Yes, that's right. That's right. There are no set rules for what is to be consumed or not, as far as the tournament is concerned. It's just about your system, or whatever makes you feel energetic to go on with a long game. When the blitz here is for 3 hours, classical game definitely goes for more than that. And meanwhile, we have the fourth round. That is beginning of the under 17 category, girls category finals of the ISF World Schools Championship Online Chess 2020.
Mhm. So it's a Queen's Gambit accepted on board one, and okay, let's see how it goes. Pipia won the game, is it? I thought it was Nia who won the game in the previous round. Okay, maybe she was. Okay, I don't know. A6. Now maybe Queen E2. Okay, she took on C5. So Queen E2 is another way to play. Now it's a pure end game, and well, it's a little boring, to be very honest, because both the sides have like symmetrical endgame. As you can see, both the sides have developed their pieces exactly the same way. So
Yes.
there's not much scope for either side to get an advantage. But White is slightly ahead in development because he has already castled and his rook is occupying the d5. Okay, but now it's basically equal. It's basically equal this end game, and it depends on who handles it better. Actually, Black can now exchange both the rooks with, let's say rook 88 on the next move. Rook c1 is a good move. With the idea to play knight b5, so she plays bishop e6, which is also a good move because bishop a3 is not possible because of b4 fork. Basically double attack is attacking the bishop on a3 as well as knight on c3. You can still play bishop a3. Yeah, I was thinking after b4 you play knight a4. Yeah, this is the point.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, probably white is better. Yeah, because let's say maybe let's say bishop a5 now, huh? Because bishop c7 would run into bishop b4. Bishop a7 is possible. We have to check rook e6, but bishop into c6, bishop b4, king e8. That seems manageable. So bishop a7, maybe knight c5, but then bishop into c5, rook c5, pawn into a3, and black is a piece up. Oh, bishop a7 runs into bishop b4 check, knight b4, rook c7, and the bishop on b7 is hanging. Probably bishop a5 is the only move here, huh? Knight c5. She played bishop a5. So now knight c5. Oh, she played bishop b2. I thought of knight c5 actually. I was really worried about knight c5. I think knight c5 was sort of winning in that position. Anyway, even now it's very strong. I mean, what does black play? Black should have. Yeah, black is in trouble. So black should take on d1 now. If rook d1, then rook b8. Oh, bishop c8. Bishop c8, huh? Okay. Possible. Bishop c8 is possible. So now take on e5. And now knight e8, is it possible? Controlling d6. Oh, she allowed bishop d6. Um, does it bring anything? Bishop d6, king e8. King to e8. Bishop f3. With the idea to play bishop c6 check. Even bishop b8 is possible actually. I like bishop f3. Yeah, she played bishop f3. It's a dangerous position. Black has too many problems. Bishop b6 even, huh? Bishop c6, bishop d7, knight d7. Knight d7, bishop b8. Oh, wow. White is winning now because bishop d7, knight d7, knight d7, bishop b8. And the knight is pinned, so can't take on b8. And the rook is trapped. And then you will... Oh, so she played knight d7. That's a better... much better move than what I was suggesting. Bishop d7 was a blunder. Yeah, now bishop b8. Is it possible? Bishop b8, yeah. Bishop b8 and knight d6. Rook a6. Black will play. White can play knight d6. For king d8, black it can even... Oh, bishop b5 and... Oh, the white has too many options actually. For king d8, white can take on f7 actually. Yeah. Okay, knight d6. Blunt. Now bishop b5. Bishop b5 followed by knight into b6. Yeah. Knight a7 now. Or knight b6 even. Both are fine. b6 better actually. And now knight d7. Check. Even rook d6 would have worked. Yeah. Good game. Very good game by white. She played very, very well. Very strong.
Slightly higher on the rankings. It was white here. 22 seconds at her disposal. Just a 9 for black.
Yeah. No, there's nothing. Yeah, I mean, black can hope for to win on time basically, but otherwise, white's position is completely winning. Oh, a3 would have been a better. Anyway, b3. Okay. a3, the idea of rook b1, rook b2. I mean, okay. In time pressure, someone can blunder that. There's always rook e2. Oh, even rook b2, rook into b2, and bishop d3. Yeah. That never works. Oh, she could have taken bishop e6, but she even saved the g pawn. She doesn't want to give him in a single pawn. Actually, she'll take on e6 now. I mean, she's playing very well. I think white. Oh, she could have given a check, but that's fine. Yeah, now check, and now king d6. Rook d2 check, bishop d5. Now rook b4. Yeah. Now just push the pawn e4, e5, e6, e7. Okay, now rook a4 and checkmate. Oh, rook a4, rook a8 was checkmate, but yeah, this is also checkmate. Now rook d8.
Yes, that's checkmate from white. And slightly higher on the rankings as well, and she's beaten Diana. Just have a quick look if there are any more matches being played in the fourth round. If not, we'll go on to the standings. 56 moves this match. Always good when you have checkmate, isn't it? Then the
Yeah.
opponent resigning always gives an upper
Yeah.
hand when you just say checkmate.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, this is the last one of the fourth round. What do you make of this, Soumya?
It's a draw, but they're playing for the, I don't know, maybe just for fun.
Yes, we'll just wait for premium chess to just tell the two girls that that's it. There cannot be a result to this. So we'll just declare it as a draw. Still up to 35 seconds with Tara, and Black still has 20 seconds, 200 difference in their rankings. Just toying around with the rooks. How long question now?
Okay, rook f1 now. Now just give checks. Yeah, now white will just give checks.
They're making sure that there are no repetitive moves so that the platform can't find it out. So they're still going ahead, maybe having fun.
Black is very keen to keep on playing. She's very keen to keep on playing.
Making quick moves as well, so they're getting the increment of 2 seconds per move. So the timer is just going up, not coming down. Long can
Did you
they go like
ever?
this song?
Yeah, I was going to. Did you ever have a move like I should at least play these many moves in a game? Did you ever set yourself a move target?
If playing against a professional, I always wondered, yes, at least a minimum of 5. But I have
I see.
friends who are professionals that have beaten me in 3 moves. I don't know what's the fastest that you have beaten an amateur, but I've been beaten in 3 moves. Somehow exposed my king, and I wanted some room for my bishop, so made sure that the pawn is out. And then from somewhere the queen arrived. There was a knight, and it was checkmate for me. So against a professional or against in the hard mode against my computer or my phone, it should at least 10 moves I should go ahead with for just sustaining and giving myself that self-respect that okay, I survived at least for 10 moves. What's the fastest that you have, or you can just finish off a game? How many moves officially you can
You can win
go ahead with the
on the
checkmate?
second move. Let's say white plays the
Okay.
first move f3, and
Okay.
black plays e5, and the second move white plays g4. Then queen h4 would be checkmate.
Okay.
So you can win in two moves as well. But the point is, white won't allow it. No, like it
Yeah,
has. Oh wow, she blundered. White blundered her rook.
could you
What?
tell us what happened, Sonia? Could you tell us what
Why
happened?
is that? Why are they playing king h8? What is this? Rook h8 is winning the rook. She repeated twice even. Why didn't she go king g8 in that position? I think white just forgot that her rook was hanging. She could have played any move instead of king e8 in that position.
These are 100
And they,
marks for black, isn't it? She stuck to it. She made sure that she's not giving up. And that's what happens. A silly error, mistake from white has resulted in a victory.
wow, incredible. She has incredible patience, black. And willpower,
Yes,
I
right hand
guess,
side.
because I mean, just to believe that you can win that position also deserves some appreciation.
It certainly does. And these are the standings at the end of the fourth round. So with a perfect score, we just have two girls. That's Zahid Ifar and Pipia with a perfect score of 4 out of 4. Then we have one girl with 3.5. And then I think from 5 to 11. So we have six girls three with a score of 3. So it's getting interesting, and with the score of 2, many 1.5, 1.5. So a long way to go. Still 5 more rounds to go. Remember, it's the Swiss system format that we're following. Fourth round has been completed, and we'll be starting with the next round shortly. And in the meanwhile, we'll just give our viewers a quick update on the rules and the tournament details. For this is the first ever tournament in the year 2020 of the ISF World Schools Championship, and this is online chess. It's, of course, an online event being held on the virtual competition platform that's Premium Chess. We have participation of boys and girls from 35 countries, spreading across 5 continents, and the broadcasting rights have been allocated exclusively to One Play Sports, and we are broadcasting it on the 3 platforms of One Play Sports. That's our website, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel. These are the rules. The players are divided into 2 age categories. Those born in the year 2003, 04, 05 are the under 17 category. That's the age group of 15, 16, and 17 years. And those in the age bracket of 13, 14 are in the under 14 category. All tournaments are being played in the blue control. That's every player has 3 minutes thinking time with an increment of 2 seconds per move. The qualifying tournaments that we have already covered were of 11 rounds. The finals last week and this weekend are of 9 rounds, and this depends on the number of players. The first 40 players have qualified for the finals. Of course, the finals are being played over 9 rounds. Technical meetings are being made over 5 minutes to the beginning of each tournament, and it's being played on the Premium Chess ISF playing arena. What are these kids playing for? The 17 and under 14 for the prize money. So we'll go on to the prizes that are being bestowed upon the kids. Last weekend was the finals of the under 14 boys and girls, and for under 14 the winners have the right to participate at the ISF under 15 World School Games in Serbia. That'll be in 2021, and of course be awarded by laptop. And the winner of the under 17 boys and girls category, that is today and tomorrow, they will have a right to participate at the ISF Summer Gymnasiad in China in the year 2021 in the month of October, and of course be awarded by a laptop. That's not it. The first 8 ranked players in each age and gender category will get the ISF ranking certificate, while all the rest finalists will get a participation certificate. So irrespective of whether you win or lose, you will be getting a certificate by the ISF. So that's something that will hold a lot of weightage. In the meanwhile, we have the 5th round that has started, and we'll have a look at the second board, and that's Khomi Parnian, the ranking of 2006, and U17 with the ranking of 2001. Quick moves, the beginning. We have Black Pawn from C7. Quick moves. In the meanwhile, we also welcome back Soumya. We have the 5th round that has started, and a lot of moves already in the first 2 seconds.
Yeah, so they've played a French advance, and yeah, Black managed to French Tarash, not advance, and I actually don't play the French either from Black and even from White. I never go for the Tarash, but I know that's a very long theory. Queen E8. I'm not too familiar with this move, but I suppose White can even go for something like Bishop H4, Bishop G3 here. That's possible. Let's see. Maybe Queen C2. Queen C2 will run into Knight B4. So and Black will take the D3 bishop, which is very important bishop for White. Yeah, so she played Knight G3. This was also a move considering, like, maybe prevent Knight H5 by Knight G3, because one of Black's plans was to go Knight H5 and Knight F4. So White prevented that. Yeah, Queen E8, I really am not sure what is the purpose of this move. We have to wait and watch. Maybe Bishop D7 now is possible. With the idea to play Knight B4 and Bishop B5, maybe. Yeah, it is a possibility, Bishop D7. Black is taking a lot of time. So has White. Both of them are on almost the same time, so that's okay.
They started quick, a lot of moves in at the start of the game, so that the time just goes up. But now they are thinking, they're taking their own sweet time.
Yeah, that's true. But you should play a move. I mean, it's already been half a minute. Okay, Queen F7. Queen F7 has been played. Maybe Rook C1 or Rook E1 even. Rook E1 is possible. Yeah, I like both the moves, Rook C1 and Rook E1. A3, preventing Knight B4. So she wants to play Queen C2 next. That is clear. And she simply wants to avoid all these Knight B4 jumps. Yeah, like after the one we were discussing, when Queen was on E8, she could have played Knight Bishop D7 with the idea of Knight B4 and Bishop B5. So she simply wants to avoid them. Black has completed her development. She has to play Bishop D7 at some point. Why isn't she going for it? She wants to play E5 directly. Okay. Okay, let's take on E5. That's the most obvious move in this position with the pawn. Yeah. Now maybe knight e5 is also sort of forced because I mean you don't want to allow some bishop g4 stuff. So yeah, that's the reason I was preferring to play rook e1. Or even rook c1, because in case our rook was 1 when she played e5, we could have considered playing rook into c6 and then pawn into e5. Um, a3 is not a useful move.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, white is nothing to complain. That is fine. White is fine. The only thing is we have to see if black has solved her problems or not. Now white could be threatening bishop f6 here. So black has to again be a little careful. She has to decide whether she wants to allow bishop f6 or not. She didn't. But h6 weakens the g6 square. Now bishop g6. Immediate bishop g6 I did not like. I was thinking bishop e3 first and bishop g6, because now if queen c7, okay, queen e6 is, she went for queen e6. I mean, queen c7 was possible. Changing the queens. Bishop f5. So maybe queen d6 now. The game is getting more complicated. Bishop f6. Now bishop into f6. Queen into f6 is also possible. Yeah, b2, how do you support it? Okay, you don't. You don't support it that well. So probably d4 at some point. I don't want to play d4 because, I mean, there is no need to play d4 at the moment. I don't want to give up the e4 square for the knight on 3, which is sort of doing nothing. Oh, bishop b8. I was thinking bishop d4 put some pressure on f2. It would have been better to keep the bishop on this diagonal on a7 g1 diagonal and keep the pawn on d5 for as long as possible. Oh, but probably bishop d4 was not possible in that position now that I think about it. Anyway, so they have moved on to another position. So let's see that. g3.
Important for these girls to keep an eye on the clock as well. Just 8 seconds and 7 seconds remaining. We have seen quite some errors being committed. We're running out of time, so they'll have to be careful there.
Oh, quick check. Rook f4, rook d2. Rook f. Okay, she's not going for rook f4. Yeah, white is a pawn up. She managed to grab the d4 pawn without allowing any tactics in return. But black position is fine. She can play rook f3 and then h4. Why didn't she play h4? Because she doesn't want to allow queen h3. Okay. Yeah, rook f3 would have been good. She should think of putting it on f3. Black is playing a little conservatively, I would say. She's not really making too many threats. But okay, she's not. Thank you. But she's not. Oh, now she allows key 7. But I didn't go for it. Okay, both the girls are just playing on intuition basically because there is no time to calculate. I mean, They have played 5 seconds on the clock. But white can definitely double on the e file. Okay. White can definitely double on the e file now. Like let's say rook c5 and rook e5. I would surely consider that, or rook c6 and rook e6. Okay, so now they have exchanged the queens. This is also not easy to win. Rook d6 now. Or take on b5. Rook e4. Or rook e6. Rook f6 is forced, otherwise you lose the a6 pawn. She blundered the a6 pawn. Okay, so now white is definitely winning. Not easy in time pressure, but because black has 2 rooks, not just 1 rook. So there are some chances to defend, but she'll exchange 1 rook now. She'll play rook e6 and exchange 1 rook. H5. Or rook g5 is also possible. Rook e4 she played. Okay, that's also fine. Rook b2, rook behind the pass pawn is always very well placed. Now rook f6, rook b4. But now the problem is the b6 pawn is she'll keep the b6 pawn attacked, so you can't move your rook. And now rook b5 check, and now h5. Now h5. No, yeah, but the problem now is that she'll keep the rook on b7. She should at least. Yeah, she'll keep the rook on b7. So now both the rooks are tied down to the defense of the b6 pawn. They can't really create threats. But white can bring her king at some point, which she is doing. Now maybe king e4, yeah. Now king d5 is possible. But rook f6, king e5. Oh, rook e4, good move. But rook f4. Oh, rook f4 allows king c6. This is the problem. She is playing well. White has found a good idea for herself, and she's going about her plan. Yeah, I like how white is playing. Yeah, she has handled it very well. She brought her king, then she gave up 1 pawn for activity, then she gave up the another for some more activity, and now she was 3 pawns up, so she still has 1 pawn, and she managed to push it right through to queen. Now it will be queen soon. So yeah, very good game. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. That's the kind of games I expect at this level.
Is she the same girl who won in 117 moves in the previous round? Perhaps not. That was another girl, but she was also Chinese. I think that was Van Kian.
This is the last game of the 5th round.
This will be interesting.
Play in the qualifiers.
Actually, this endgame is winning for white, but I remember a game which was played between 2 very strong players. I think white was Vidit and black was Erwin Lamy from Netherlands, if I'm not wrong. And he managed to draw, like white was 2 pawns up in this queen endgame, but black managed to draw. So, but actually, of course, the point was slightly different because every position also depends on the king's position, right? where the kings are.
Yeah.
That also makes. Oh wow! White blundered the queen. Oh wow! So this is losing now for white. Oh, you have to be so careful in blitz. Just one lack, one lapse of concentration can cost you the whole point, not just half a
Hey,
point, but
but
the whole
what an error
points.
that was! What an error that was! Exposing the queen, losing perhaps the most important uh,
And that's a
queen has been
that's a
lost.
actually this diagonal check is very easy to miss also in blitz, I think, because this queen h2, the way she won the queen, I think it's quite easy to even miss it. Unbelievable. Yeah, you have to be so careful in blitz.
There's a
There is
vast
always
difference in
hope,
the
yeah.
rankings. There's always hope. Yes, absolutely right. And there's a vast difference in the rankings as well. For black, is almost 100 is the difference. Pardon me,
Yeah,
much
100
more than
points
that.
above.
Much more than
No,
that.
she's
Okay,
900 above.
900. Yes, almost 1,000 points. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, black also higher in ranking. He has won this. We'll just have a look if any more games remaining in the fifth round. No, that's it. And we'll just quickly have a look at the standings. Anyone who's 5 out of 5, and we have Pipia who's 5 out of 5. Then Yuze with 4.5. Then we have 5 other girls with 4 as the score.
Yeah. I'm very impressed, with what I mean, the fact that these girls keep playing till the end, and then they
Yeah.
manage to win a completely drawn game, and or even a losing game actually. Um, they clearly have a lot of fighting spirit. That much should be said. I mean, it's very hard to sit with bad position. It's very hard to just sit with a bad position. You want to just finish the game and go, like you want to start the next game. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's very good. That's very good that these girls have so much fighting spirit. They are alert until the last move. And the
Yes,
ones who
that's
are
right. Always
not,
important.
they pay the price dearly. I mean, in Blitz, though, just we saw the queen. I mean, unbelievable blunder, actually. It's
Oh
hard
yes,
to even
one
get
error
over
can
such.
cost your game.
It's hard to even get over such blunders. It depends on how you take it. If you take it too hard, then it can actually affect your next game as well. You have to just forget it, like this kind of blunder,
Right.
especially.
That's right. That's right. So the fifth round has come to an end. We are waiting for the next round to begin, and we have a lot of activity happening on our Facebook page. And there's a question that's from Viraj. Soumya, the question from Viraj is, how does one increase their rankings? So how do you go up as a professional chess player? What determines your decrease on your rankings?
So we have a like the number that you see next to all the kids' names, next to the name score, and then there is a column called ELO. This is their ELO rating on the website, Premium Chess. But we have a FIDE rating, which we gain by playing tournaments, which are rated tournaments, and if we score a certain number of points against FIDE rated players, we get a certain rating according to how we played. Yeah, according to our rating, according to the average of our opposition and the score that we made. And this way, you keep on gaining rating or losing rating. There is a well as a minus, and that's how you basically, first of all, earn a rating and then increase it or decrease it depending on
Okay.
how you play.
Yes, it is important to keep on winning as much as possible to make sure that your ranking just keeps on increasing.
Yes. And the thing is, if let's say you're playing against someone who is very much higher rated than you,
Mhm.
then you're likely to gain a lot of points. But let's
Okay.
say you're playing against someone who is very much lower rated than you, like there is a huge
Mhm.
difference. Like let's say the last round, yeah, there was a rating difference of 900 points between them. So anything than 350 points is basically considered the same. There is
Okay.
a slab given, and anything more than 350 points is considered the same. So if you win against someone who's very much lower rated than you, then you don't gain as many points. But if you lose to
Okay.
this person or draw with this person, then you will lose a lot of points. So you have to be really careful when you're playing against someone who is very much lower rated than you, because you have a chance to lose a lot of points in just one go.
Mhm. Yes, thank you for that, and thank you for the question, Viraj. Meanwhile, we have the sixth round that has begun. So not a lot of big breaks that we have this time around.
Oh, why isn't she making a move? Did she lose her internet connection, or maybe she took a break? She didn't realize the game has started. Oh, that's a
Yes,
pity.
there's
She has
almost
lost 1 minute.
a difference of a
Do
minute.
you think
Yes,
that we?
that's quite a lot.
Oh my God, what happened there?
It's something that we have been mentioning about, isn't it, Soumya? That the internet connection somewhere over there, she makes a move.
She
So
made a move.
she's
Yeah,
back
she made a
online
move.
again. Yes.
Um, okay, so this is the Tarash defense. Okay, white e3. She could have played bishop g5 instead, or c into d5. Actually. She played e3. I think black can take on c4 now. Okay, she doesn't. She plays bishop e7. Black can take on c4 anytime, no? Black can take on c4 anytime. Um, yeah, take on c4. Knight a5 is a move. Knight a5 is a move. She plays b6. That's also fine. With the idea to play bishop b7. Yeah, completely normal position. Bishop a2. Knight d5. Okay. Mm, yeah. Knight d5. Okay, she took on c3. That was the point. Yeah. Leaving the knight on d5 wouldn't have made sense, because then white could have taken on d5, and white's main problem is the isolated pawn on d4, which is now a hanging pawn, and she also lost the pawn on e3. So that's just adding to her problems. Yeah, white is in trouble. So let's see how will we handle this position as black. Exchanging a pair of bishops is a good idea. Black is playing well. Then you can maybe put the knight on c4 or d5, one of the two things. Oh, why bishop e7? Okay, bishop e7 also is fine. Now maybe knight a5 with the idea to play bishop d5. With the idea to play bishop d5. Next move. Yeah, this is a good idea. I like I like this idea very much. Also, you are attacking c3 right now, so you need to defend it. And now bishop d5. She took on f3. Okay, queen into f3. I don't like this move so much. Okay. She could have played bishop d5. It would have. This is also fine. Black is still better, but I think bishop d5 would have been better trade than trading the bishop for the knight. Oh, I get it. So she wants to play knight versus bishop endgame. Maybe she'll play queen c7 now. Okay, she played knight c4. Yeah, so black is of course still better, and just a moment. Now she can occupy the d file with her rook as well, so she will be occupying. She'll all her pieces will be very well placed. She has to move the knight now because it's hanging. So maybe knight to d6. Where do you think? Knight a5 is also possible, by the way, because after c4, you go to knight c6 with your knight and attack the d4 pawn. So now can white play c4? White could consider playing c4 with the idea a5, then rook b1, knight c4, rook e to c1, but then knight b2 is a tricky move. Knight b2, queen d2. Yeah, that could have been possible. She played rook a4. Okay. Now the rook is misplaced on a4, but yeah, rook is misplaced on a4. It's slightly awkward. And also the d4 pawn will be attacked after knight f5. So bishop b3 will be played now. Knight f5 maybe. Knight allows d5 though. So you have to be careful. B5. Okay. The idea is pawn into pawn, knight into pawn. And she took with the queen, acha. But isn't this hard to convert, or yeah, maybe it's fine because the knight, even with same side pawns, equal pawns on the same side, it's very hard to play with the bishop against us. So now black is even a pawn up. So actually, it's not so easy to hold this position, and also the bishop on d1 is super awkward. Super awkward. I think she'll play rook a4 now. She'll first try to dislodge the knight. She doesn't do that. What is? Yeah, she's going to play rook a1 now. So knight is like super happy on d4. It's controlling a lot of squares. It's restricting the white bishop. Black is happy. Black is happy for sure. Bring the king. How do we bring the king? G6. She plays rook c7. Okay. I was thinking on the lines of g6, king g7. Rook c2 now? Why did she take on f3? It was not required at all. This is now a theoretical draw. Let's see if it will be a draw or not. But it's actually a theoretical draw. White can play h4 now. Not allowing g5. White should definitely play h4. She plays g4, which is also fine. And now f4. But this is tricky suddenly. Oh, maybe she shouldn't. Now pawn into pawn. This was the point, sorry. Yeah. White is playing well. Yeah, this is just a draw. It was a very bad idea to exchange the knight with the bishop because this rook ending is basically a draw. 4 pawns versus 3 on the same side. And white clearly knows her stuff here. So black shouldn't have gone for it. Now rook into g5 is a immediate draw, but okay, she doesn't play it. It will still be a draw. Now rook f6. Why not rook f6? Rook f6 would have been a better move. Now rook f1. Why? Okay, it looks like white is confused. White should definitely play rook f1. Yeah, rook f1. Now the point is that this h pawn, all king pawn ends are drawn, unless the king is really far. Since the king is not so far, it will be. Yeah, rook f8 is a good move. Now king f2 or king f1. Why not king g2 in that position? She could have played king g2 instead of rook f5, and I think it was winning at that point. Right. This is a draw because the king cannot escape the h file, hence the pawn cannot be promoted. Good game by both sides. Yeah, both sides really played well, and there were some mistakes, but it's okay. It's a blitz game. I think both the girls played really well and very, especially White. I think it was very tough to defend this position, and she managed. Kudos to her. Maybe we can go and check the standings because this game is already over. There seems to be some. Yeah, the game is already over. All the games are over. So we have Pipia, whose game we just saw. She was playing white in the game we were going through. Hi, Chaitanya. Hello. Welcome back. And yeah, we just saw a very interesting game, very, very fighting game between Pipia and U17. It ended in a draw.
Okay.
I think both the girls played really well. They fought very hard. And Black had chances to win the game, but in the end game, she went wrong and White managed to make a draw. So she is still leading. Pipia is still leading the tournament, and there are 3 players on 5, 1 on 4.5, and quite a few on 4.
That's right.
I
So
think the
it's still
next
intense.
round,
We still can't guess a clear winner here because Pia got a draw game, so she's 5.5. So still no perfect score for anyone. So it still can go in any direction.
yeah, I think the next round will be between Pipia and Zahedi Far, who is the top seed of the tournament. So that would
That will
be
be some contest. We will be
very
eager to see that
critical.
one.
Yeah, that would be a very critical match.
Yes. Right then. So sixth round has been completed. We'll begin the next round shortly. And because we have that break again, we kept on mentioning that for under 17 girls has received quite some attention on our Facebook and YouTube. So there's a question that's come in from Namrata. Soumya, this is for you. Question from Namrata, and the question is: will playing chess help my child in academics. And always important for mothers to take care of academics of their kids. So can playing chess anyway help her child in academics?
Logically, yes. I mean, if she manages to maintain a balance between the two, then logically, yes. And from my experience, also, yes, because definitely increased my grasping power and concentration levels. And in general, also, they say that you need certain skills to be a good chess player, like, let's say, good memory or a good level of concentration, etc. But it also works the other way around. When you start chess, you develop these skills, because I think we all have these skills. Basically, it's just about making those skills work, like making that part of your brain work, right? That's the reason we solve all these cognitive puzzles on our
Yeah.
phones, and maths problems, etc., right? We avoid using a calculator so that we can make our brain work. So I think chess also helps you develop those skills. For example, I was a very impatient child, like nobody would have guessed that I would become a chess player. And because I started playing chess, my patience level has increased drastically. Like, I won't say I'm a very patient person even now, but it has improved a lot over the years. So it is because of chess, like full credit to chess for sure. So there are some skills which are very useful for academics, like concentration, good memory, and grasping power, which definitely develop after playing chess. So of course you need to maintain a balance. Like if you're going to I mean, you also need to put some effort into academics and into chess, but just generally, yes, it does help. It does help. Actually, there is a
Yes.
program in many states in India and in many countries in the world called Chess in Schools. So basically, chess is either an optional subject or compulsory subject in schools for kids studying in primary school. And the
Okay.
whole concept of introducing chess as a subject is this, that it is believed that chess does help in academics. So it does help you enhance certain area of brain, and obviously the sooner you learn it, the better. So that's the reason this program has been initiated, and I think it's very, very good, very good. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure Soumya has answered your question there, Namrata. The question was, will playing chess help my child in academics? And Soumya says that it definitely will, because as far as the concentration levels are concerned, remembering certain things, just having the patience, that's one thing that the game definitely teaches you, because in a classical game, you have hours that you just sit patiently for your opponent to make the move, and then you put in the equal amount of time in thinking, strategizing. So all these things eventually help a child in academics in the long run for sure. So playing chess has its lot of pros. So again, message from us is the parents to encourage your kids into playing chess. This at times is considered as not a good time, but for playing chess, this is the ideal time. Kids are at home, parents at home. You can just maybe take an online class or just download a game or an app on the mobile phone and introduce chess to your kids. Even when you're at home, you talk of board games. There always is Ludo. There always is more. There can also be a chess wherein a father can teach his son, or a mother can teach her daughter the basics of chess. And something that we spoke at the beginning of this day is little kids can be introduced to this game with a nice fairy tale. This is your kingdom. These are your animals. You are the king, and you control them. That is how you can introduce chess to kids, and of course later on it can help them in their overall development of their personality and also in academics eventually.
Yeah, 100%. In general,
Yes, right
also
then.
playing
That's how.
sports is very important, I think, in your childhood. It teaches you so many life skills, and most importantly, it teaches you to accept that you're not always going to win and things are not going to go your way always, and you just need to keep fighting and keep coming back. That I think is a very important lesson that sport teaches us, and people somehow don't emphasize on this enough. They think that sport is all about winning, but it's actually not all about winning. It's about learning that you're not always going to win and that you come back after a disappointing loss. I think that's the most
Yes,
important lesson to learn for kids.
that's a good point there, that it's not always about winning, but also learning after you lose. So we'll come back to that point. In the meanwhile, we have round number 7 that is begin. It's PPI Katerine against Kianwan.
Yeah. So let's see how they play. Usually you put the pawn on c3 in these systems, but hmm, this is also fine. So basically, it's a reversed London system. White Black has taken the London system setup, and yeah, this is supposed to be good for white actually. Um, let's see how it goes. Because the pawn on a7, like you see the rook on a1, when there was a pawn in front of it, it was doing nothing. But now that the pawn is not there, it is on b4 instead. The rook enjoys this amazing open file. It's like so happy, breathing fresh air. So it's going to target the a7 pawn basically. And Black does have a bit of suffering to do now. I mean, her pawn on a7 is going to be a cause of concern. The bishop on h2 b8 diagonal does a brilliant job of covering the b8 square for the rook. So, um, also it covers like three squares. Like Black's position is a little cramped. She definitely needs to find a plan. She should probably exchange some pieces, which she does. Knight e4. Yeah, I was thinking about this move because her position is very cramped and she needs to exchange pieces so that she also gets some breathing space. I think, yeah, I think it's a fairly decent move. Okay, she plays knight b3 with the idea to go knight a5. And she will attack b7, and at the moment it cannot be defended because the b8 square is controlled. So knight a5, she plays a6 with the idea to play rook a7 for knight a5. But just imagine, yeah, the rook on a7. I mean, it's clearly not happy to be on a7. She would prefer to put the rook anywhere else but on a7. Yeah, f3. So after knight into c3, b to c3, white also corrects her pawn structure. She had these double pawns on b file, which now got corrected. Sure, there still are double pawns on the c file, but it's better to be on c3 than on b3, b2 basically. Bishop c7. This was not required. She could have gone for some move like c4, I think, instead of bishop c7. She still can do it. She can play bishop e2. She should play slowly, like I feel. White can play slowly here. King d2, bishop e2, rook to c1, c4. Just she can even try for e4 maybe. That's also possible. But I like c4 plan. She wants to win the pawn. Okay. She's like pawn मिल रहा है तो खा लेते हैं. She wants to win the pawn, then she'll get the a6 pawn as well. Right, so she's now 2 pawns up. And the bishop on f5, it's doing nothing. Can you see? It looks like it's a great piece,
Yeah,
but it's actually, yeah. She played e5 so that she can go back with bishop c8. I mean, it would have been better if the bishop was on c8. At least the b7 pawn being defended rather than on f5. White's problem is that her pieces are a little tangled and she needs to find a way to untangle them. So c4 is not possible now because b4 is hanging. Yeah, that's the reason I did not like this bishop b6 move, because even after you won 2 pawns, there is no clear way to proceed because bishop on a6 cannot move because the knight on b7 is attacked. Yeah, and now that she moved the knight, black will take on b6. So she still is 1 pawn up, but black's position is not so cramped anymore. You remember the rook was on a7 and doing nothing, and now the rook is on b6 and it has some scope, right? Her position is freed up. Now black can play bishop d6 on the next move with the idea to play bishop f4. So she is creating some threats as well. Bishop f4 now. King d1. Huh? King e2, rook e7. Now bishop e3. Okay, bishop e3, king g2. But now rook e1. Now white should exchange one pair of rooks. Rook e1. Why not rook e1? Okay, h5 one move. I think rook e1 was better. But okay. Because, you know, previous move, rook e1 was also threatening knight e6. Whereas now the bishop is already on f7. And for knight e6, you'll take on e6 with the bishop. So it's not a big threat. You can still play knight e6, but it would... Oh, now knight a6 allows rook a7 or rook a8. So that doesn't mean an exchange. Black is... Yeah. She played knight a6, but black will play rook a8 or rook a7. And now what if I play rook a7? She wants to exchange one pair of rooks basically. And now rook e8. Yeah, rook e8. Now black's position is still a little cramped, but manageable maybe. She's a pawn down. We must not forget that. Yeah, exchanging one pair of rooks is a good idea, I feel. But here again, rook 8 was a good move here, I think, because white would have been forced to play rook a2 again. Yeah, bishop d2 and rook e3, right? How is white supporting the c3 pawn? Rook e3. Rook e3 allowed rook a2. That's the reason she did not go for that. And after bishop c3, the rook on e3 would have been hanging. And after rook c3, rook d2 would have been hanging. So that's the reason she did not play that. Rook c7. Hard to understand. Why not bishop e6? Are they going to repeat? They repeated. Repeated 3 times.
Yes, they have done that.
Okay.
Half a point.
Yeah, good game. I think white was much better out of the opening, and instead of this knight b6, bishop c6, knight b6 idea, she could have played something else, something more slow. Okay, so white is completely winning. She's a queen.
And that's Anaita Sayedifar. The first game that we saw of hers today. So in the dominating position.
Nice.
Checkmate. White wins, and
So,
that's Anahita.
so Anahita is in the joint lead now because PPR drew her game and she was trailing by half a point. So White in this game is also leading the tournament now.
Oh, we still have a few games being played.
Yeah,
That's for the
they're
two-second
playing till the
increment,
end.
just final few seconds of this game.
This is
Girls
a
are not giving
draw.
up, isn't it? They are going
Yes,
till the end.
this White could win if but I think it will be a draw. There is some chance, like let's say bishop f6 is necessary because king c5 would allow c3, and now king c5. So not allowing c3. Yeah, now White will win. Acha.
A lot of difference in the rankings as well. So White is the favorite as far as the rankings go. See how this ends up.
White should have kept the king on g4, but even that was winning only because that could have been a draw actually if she had kept her king on g4 instead of brought her king to d3 in um, when her bishop was still alive.
Right, right.
But now it's no chance because yeah, now there's no chance to defend this. I shouldn't say that because the second round I was like, okay, and then they lost on time. Yeah, I mean both the girls, but here
So, yes.
White even has more time, so should be fine.
Yes, White has almost half a minute here. Time is Zina. White. Difficult for Black to survive now.
Yeah.
She's not giving up. She'll stay till
Yeah.
this happens, and that's a mate.
Yeah, it's okay to play till checkmate because it probably also develops your fighting spirit and resourcefulness
Yes.
and
Yes.
alertness, maybe. So it's okay.
So that's the end of the seventh round. Yes, we'll just quickly head over to the standings. It becomes exciting now. 7 and 8 round, the rankings become exciting, and there we go. That's Pipia and Zahedifar with the score of 6.
Yeah, both of them are leading the tournament. So they will play against each other the next round, I assume. They haven't played against each other so far. And one girl on 5.5. So yeah, exciting.
Yes, it surely will be. That's the end of 7 rounds, and remember the finals are of 9 rounds with system format, and this is the finals of under 17 girls category of the ISF World Schools Championship Online Chess 2020. It becomes quite exciting because last weekend we had the finals of the under 14 boys and girls, and by the end of the 5th or 6th round, me and Soumya we started predicting, okay, this one is with the perfect score, and he or she will definitely take the championship. But in the last round, at times things turn. There's a complete change or a turn of events wherein there's a draw or there's an upset with an opponent who's lower on the rankings but can always create an upset, and that is when this entire format becomes so much exciting, and that's the fun. And yes, that's the fun of the game of chess, which is being played online, remember, by participants, boys and girls from 35 countries, 5 continents, and they're playing for this. They're playing for the prize fund. So today we have the under 17 girls category. That's girls born in the year 2003, 2004, 2005. The one who wins will have a right to participate at the ISF Summer Gymnasiad in China, that be held from 16th to the 23rd of October 2021. And they will also be rewarded a laptop. What a prize that is going to be for an under 17 girl or an under 17 boy. So that's a 16, 17-year-old girl, 16, 17-year-old boy tomorrow getting the laptop. That also without asking your parents, not letting your parents fund or sponsor it. You have earned a laptop by playing an international competition and winning it. That too has more than 5 countries participating and 5 continents. Players from 5 continents have participated. And if you win, you genuinely are a talent to look for in the future. And thus, the ISF is giving you a right to participate at the ISF Gymnasiad. And there'll be a laptop that'll be awarded for the winners. And the last weekend, we had the finals of the under 14 boys and girls. For them, the winner will have the right to participate at the ISF under 15 World School Games in Serbia, and will also be awarded by a laptop. And in the finals, all those who have participated and reached the finals, all of them will get a participation certificate by the ISF. So that is something that there's be in their mind that they have to play. They'll get a certificate, and which eventually holds a big weightage later on in their career, irrespective whether they are trying to make a career in chess or not. But just participating in sports, getting a certificate always gives you the edge over those who haven't. So you go in for your interviews of your graduation, your post graduation, or of course your job interviews. Whenever your resume has that you have played a sport at this high level, right, it keeps you on an edge in comparison to those who have not. So that's one thing. Always encourage your kids, your friends, your siblings into playing some of the other sport, and getting that certificate. Winning isn't always everything, is what me and Soumya were discussing as well. Winning, of course, you get all the prizes, you get all the accolades, but the more lessons that you learn are when you lose, and that's the beauty of sport, and that is what happens in chess as well. 9 rounds here in the Swiss system format. You win, your ratings go ahead. You win all 9. For example, we have 2 over here who might be tied, but eventually there is going to be only one winner who will get that laptop and a chance to participate in the higher competitions starting next year. But irrespective of that, is just a kudos to all the boys and girls who have participated in this online chess competition. It's a tough time right now for the entire world, but it's you just have to be okay with it, adapt to the situations, and adopt to newer technologies. And what better than playing chess at home? You don't need any further resources. You don't even need a partner to play along when it comes to online chess. You can just be online. There are so many online platforms available, so many apps available on your mobile phones. There are so many games that you can just download easily or just play online against the computer. And that's the beauty of the game of chess. We have a lot of feedback that is coming in from our viewers across the country, because that's what we have been saying. We have participants from over 30 countries, 5 continents. So that's a huge participation for the International School Sport Federation, that the ISF, and this is the first tournament being conducted by ISF this year, owing to the lockdown and due to the pandemic. Athletes or players coming together at one venue wasn't possible, so you had to sit home and participate in an online competition. and the only online professional competition that can be played when it comes to an approved sport is that is of chess. In last week, we were discussing the same, that is there any professional game or a sport that can be played online? We haven't been able to come up with an answer. If you have an answer to it, please post in your comments on Facebook or on YouTube. But chess is an exception. You can sit home and you can still participate in the highest competition, and you can represent your country at the highest platform. And what better privilege, or there's always is a sense of pride when you are representing your country. It's pride for you, your society, your parents, your relatives, your school when it comes to these kids. So always very important to participate irrespective of the result. Efforts in your hand, not exactly the results. In the meanwhile, we have the 8th round that is started. Soumya has joined me. 8th round, and we have Anahita, Sahedifar, and Parva in the 8th round.
Right. So it's a Karokan defense, and both of them are from Iran. Both the players are trying to win the tournament. Let's see how it goes. Uh, yeah, it's not exactly an theoretical opening. It's Black will probably play e6, and White has a chance to gain a double bishop advantage by playing knight h4 at some point. Knight h4 now? Why not knight h4? Okay. Because the e6 point is also vulnerable. But okay, now Black's queen came back to c7, where it is better placed than on a5. So Black managed to consolidate her position. Um, right. So maybe knight. Okay, knight to f6 allows knight e5. So she first played to e8. She probably wants to play e5. So that's why White played knight e5 herself, not allowing Black to play e5. But can I win a pawn now? Now bishop h2? She blundered. She blundered the piece. I mean, you can play g3, but then bishop into g3, and you're a pawn basically, and a good pawn structure as well. Oh, she probably missed bishop h2. She missed one more thing, but we are already past that position, so can't show it. E5, White has so many issues. Her pieces are still undeveloped. They are still on c1. Bishop is still on c1. Rook on a1. Rooks are not yet connected. The king is quite vulnerable. There are no pieces around it. Bishop f4 is a good move. Developing her pieces with a tempo. So she'll put her knight on d5. Maybe White can put her bishop on e5. Okay, so she doesn't prevent, but she has scared Black off playing knight d5. White still has knight e4. Now maybe, she wins the second pawn now because d4 and b2 both are attacked, and you can only support one with your queen. Queen into b2 is possible. Black can take on b2. Black can play rook d8 first as well, attacking d4 one more time. She plays g5. Not bad at all. g5 is possible. She wants to attack g3 square. Now she can take on g3 with the knight or with the queen. With the knight is better. Yeah, with the knight is better. And she will be 2 pawns up in this endgame. Black is in good form, I feel, because she's not missing any chances. Yeah, like whatever opponents
Yeah.
uh, are giving her, she's grabbing them. That's a sign of being in good form.
It's important for Anahita Zahedifar to get a victory here because she's tied on the first position. So she'll be eager to register a victory here and in the next round. It's the all important championship online here, the under 17 girls category.
Wow, what is King G4? She loses his third pawn now because D4 is hanging. Rook into F3, rook into F3, rook into D4. Yeah, it's pretty hopeless for White, to be honest, this position. She's 3 pawns down. Black has no targets in her position. I mean, no real targets. Even rook c4. Yeah. Rook c2. Okay. Rook c2 would have been also fine. Yeah, it's not easy to play this position as White because you can't resign, but you know that there is not much scope to save the position because you have too many pawns down. Black can gain a fourth pawn now, which she will go for. Now rook c2 and rook c3. And just take everything. Take
Yeah.
on h3 first. Yeah, 5 pawns up. Black is 5 pawns up.
It's difficult for White to survive now. Anahita has been doing good. Advantage of 5 pawns.
Right. Yeah.
There you go. White has resigned.
Good. Black.
So Anahita maintains her run. And
Very
so she'll
strong
definitely
player.
be at the top again. Yes.
Yes.
Any more matches? Yes, many of them. 20 matches still being played of the 8th round. Quickly go ahead and it's PP again in White.
Bishop g7. This is such an interesting position. G4 was possible.
Yeah.
G4 and H4. Why not Bishop G8 and now Bishop G5 even. Is Bishop G5 possible? No, it doesn't make sense. The king on H6 is so awkward. It might get mated. It might get mated. Oh, it won't. It won't. You will move the bishop. Oh, it might get mated now. King E1. King E1. How are you now? H4. G5. Yeah. Forced. G5 is forced. Now H5. Now Rook F7. Oh, G4 first. G4 first. Now Bishop D5 and Rook F7. Oh my god, it's lost. Yeah, she should have kept the bishop on g7 for this reason. So Pipia will win this game.
Yes, the girls also need to keep an eye on the timer there. Just 3 minutes, get 2 seconds increment, and that's a checkmate. And that's PPI Katerine emerges the victorious here. Let's see if any more matches are being played. It'll be exciting, interesting to see the standing at the end of round 8 to see whether there is still competition that exists. So, is there a clear winner at the end of round 8, or are we waiting for round 9 to get a winner? We'll have to wait for that because there's still one more game that is being played, and by the time you're about to start it, the game has ended. So that's the end of round 8, and there we go. We still have Pipia and Zaidifar at the score of 7. So we
Wow.
still don't have a clear winner because on 6 we have 2 more. So we can ideally have 4 of them contesting for the championship. That is if they haven't played each other. So we don't know about that. But this is interesting. This is going to the final delivery. As I say in cricket, this is going to the final round. That is round number 9. At the top 4 have been tied on 7 points and 7 points. This is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And actually, if I was just wondering if these two girls, Pipia and Zadifar, who are leading the tournament, play the next two girls, then there, as you mentioned, there could be four players tied on 7 points. There is a possibility for that as well on at the end of 9 round. So yeah, exciting tournament for sure. And both Pipia and Zaidifar have been playing very well. We have followed many of their games so far.
Yes.
So it will definitely be exciting to watch the
Yes, it
last
surely
round.
will go down. I just mentioned about the last delivery in cricket, and we have a comment on Facebook coming from Prasanna, and he says that in a game, in a games of knights, rooks, and bishops, a coincidence that today is the birthday of former West Indian fast bowler Ian Bishop. So that's quite a coincidence. We're talking of Bishop's Knights, and it's the birthday of former West Indian father, also broadcasting for the Indian
Happy
T20
birthday
League.
to him.
So from us at One Play Sports, wishing Ian Bishop a very happy birthday. Thank you so much for that, Prasanna. And we have a question. I think this is the last question that we can take for the day. That question is from Sujata, and the question is, Soumya, can chess become a full-time career option? And that's generally the question that parents always have, isn't it? Can this be
Yes,
a
why
future
not?
career option? So yes.
Yes, why not? It can be. I mean, there are a lot of professional chess players in the world and who are playing chess and not doing anything else. Like they don't have a job or otherwise, or they are not into commentary, or they are not into coaching. They are only playing chess. Of course, this set of players is very low because chess is generally like super competitive, and the prize money is great for the elite level. It's really very good. But as you come lower and lower, the prize money is okay, but it's not necessary that you will win every tournament, right? So that's the reason it's not possible to survive only on the prize money. So a lot of chess players also take classes, and I think that's also fine because when you teach someone, you also learn something yourself, and you're also helping the game grow. You're helping to spread the game. So that's another way to look at it. Um, so both options, I think, are perfectly possible. And nowadays, there are many allied professions as well, like commentator and author. You can write books on chess, and you can be a chess journalist or chess photographer. So there are many allied professions nowadays. There is a lot of scope even around chess, and not, of course, YouTube streaming. It's like a big thing nowadays, and that's yeah, that's some part of it. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. So yes, the answer is there for Sujata that chess can definitely be a full-time career option. I mean, that you choose, and that can obviously automatically become a career option. We have so many offbeat careers that exist, and sport definitely is can be considered as a career. And the government has also made sure that kids from school take up a sport and make sure that it becomes a career option for them. So yes, any sport always important to learn from it, and chess also is one of that example that it can definitely become a career option. Yes, so then we're waiting for round number 9. It hasn't happened in the boys or girls under 14 categories that we saw that there can be any one winner of the top 4. We had an idea that, okay, these are 2 boys or these are 2 girls in the under 14 categories who are going to go ahead and win at the end of round number 8. But this is for the first time that at the end of round 8, we have a competition between 4 girls. Any one of these 4 could be on the top.
Yeah. Of course, the girls who are on 7 points have it a little easier because, in the sense, they know that if they win their game and it is going to be enough. Actually, maybe not, because they are also concerned about what if the other person also wins their game and calculating all these things. But I'm sure they're just focusing on their own game. Anyway, there is much time between the rounds, and they just want to focus on their game and give their best. I think that would be the mindset.
Yes. Not getting into numbers a lot. The best to win is just to win straightforward, and that's what these 2 girls with 7 as a score will be thinking of. Half point for a draw. If they lose, what will happen to the other girls? Just don't think of that. Just think of winning, and that's the best way of staying at the top. But however, the girls on 3 and 4 will be thinking of winning and hoping that the girls on top will lose, and then again there'll be a tie. Then we'll have to look at the ratings and the scores to get a winner. But it's always good when you don't have a clear favorite. That just shows the level of competition. You have equal competition, and there's no one country or one girl, one participant who's way ahead in comparison to the others.
Yeah, usually it's very rare to have someone sprinting up, all the way. It's always like there are other participants who are also giving them a very tough fight. Usually that's the case. So this is really good that all the players are fighting really hard and not letting one player run away with the title.
Yes, that's how it should be. And remember, they're playing for the prize, and that is to participate in the Gymnasiad in China in 2021, and of course for laptop. And do we have round number 9 ready? We have a lot of comments coming in on Facebook. Do we have the 9th round ready? It looks like it's going to be an exciting contest. This.
Yeah, so we will have a winner in the under 17 girls section after this round. Exciting stuff. They probably have a small break before the last round, maybe to maybe some technical meeting. It's possible.
Yeah, maybe that's quite possible. Just the final do's and don'ts on the premium chess platform before the final round begins. Also important to keep the scores updated because this is getting close at the end of round 9. But remember, to all our viewers, tomorrow we'll be back again starting at same time for the under 17 boys category finals, and that also promises to be as exciting and interesting as what you have been witnessing today. So we'll have 9 final rounds of the boys under 17 category tomorrow, starting at same time, 7:30 in the evening IST. So please do join us tomorrow as well. With a lot of questions coming in on Facebook and YouTube, feel free to ask your questions about your kids, about your siblings, or just general questions about chess. Feel free to ask, and also always important if you can give your applause or send in hearts to your favorite players or to anyone that you know who is participating in this online chess competition. Meanwhile, just waiting for ISF to start the final round. Just a quick reminder to everyone, it's the blitz time control. So that's 3 minutes of thinking time, and 2 second, 2 second increment per move. So that's fast, and that's when it becomes interesting and exciting for the viewer as well. And we have many viewers who might not have played chess professionally, but still seeing this is always exciting. Seeing online in a game that is being played for 3 minutes is always exciting.
Yeah, of course. I think following Blitz is always fun. So Blitz, following, playing, everything is always fun.
Yes,
Oh,
then
fine.
there we
So
go.
the last round has started. Oh wow,
Yes.
the Nia and Zahedifar had not played yet. That's what I was wondering. Why were they not paired until now? They finally be paired on the last round.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a Benoni setup. As we saw this setup in the first round as well, and I was mentioning about how this is a very dynamic opening to play. So white basically plays for an attack, and actually Zahedifar had the same, not the same position, but her opponent played bishop g4, I think. She played e5 with the king still on e1. That is surprising because the king is still on e1. She hasn't castled yet. Can I take on e5 now and then play knight g4? Why not? White will probably play bishop g5 then. I can move my queen to a5. This is also possible. If she takes on d6, I think. What does white do? If she takes on d6. White can go queen b6 if she takes on d6 with the pawn. And knight b5 is not possible because the bishop on e2 is pinned, so white can take black can simply take on b5 with the queen. Yeah, I think e5 knight f d2 was the way to play, I think, instead of e5. Okay, let's see how it goes.
Very important match for Anaita. Zahedifar.
Oh, so white has sacrificed a pawn. Now black has some options. Okay, now bishop d7 is possible. e4. Black sacrifices an exchange. Bishop e8, pawn into knight is... they're playing really fast. They're not taking any time to make their decisions. Vidit once told me that when he won the under 14 World Championship, on the last round, he had to win the last round, and it was a classical game, and he did not think at all for the whole of the game. He just played, and won them because he was super nervous.
And still he won.
So, yeah, he won the tournament. But okay, not recommended, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a good day for him, or maybe just subconsciously he was playing the right moves
Also,
because after a lot of study, a lot of efforts taken, he just subconsciously
yeah,
might be taking the right moves.
exactly. He probably was too strong, and that's the reason it worked out for him.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yes.
not recommended. So let's see this position because a lot has happened since I told the story. So black has Black is definitely fine. Depends to be seen if white is okay or not, because white is the one who's lagging behind development. Even though the material is equal, the bishop on c1 at the moment can't be developed comfortably. D2 is the only square on which it can be developed for the moment. How is b6 now? If b6, then white could play rook d1.
Yeah.
Maybe. She took on c3 and played b6. That is, yeah. Now the c5 knight, where does it go? It can't go to d3. It can't go to e4. It can't go to b7. Right, rook d1 intermezzo. So that she can bring it to d3 at least. But queen e7, not queen e7 and queen e2. That was possible. Now knight e4 would win a pawn. She plays rook d8 instead. Bishop b2. Does that make sense? Yeah, she plays bishop b2. Now rook e2 is possible. She plays knight g4. Knight on g4 is well placed, with the idea to play knight e3 as well, and just controlling this diagonal. Rook into d3 is a threat now, because rook into d3, queen c5 check. And for king h1, we have knight f2 check. And it will be a smothered mate after knight f2, king g1, knight h3, king h1, queen g. Oh, now rook into d3 and it's over. She played rook d2, it's a blunder. Now rook into d3 and the game is lost. White gets mated by force. Yeah, I mean rook d4 maybe. Oh, she does not play that. She
Oh,
missed
she'll
it.
have
Rook
to get back
was-
and have a look at the game again. She could have finished the game here.
Yeah, she could have finished it off. White had a defense of rook d3, queen c5, rook d4, but then she would have anyway lost the exchange. Maybe that's the reason she didn't go for it, because she gave up an exchange on d3 and then she would have only won it back. Oh, now she's completely winning. Now knight f2 and again. Very nice. So black is winning this game. Now knight
So
d1
that will mean
even.
Anahita will have a point.
And then queen e1
Okay.
checkmate. Oh, she didn't give checkmate? Okay, she's winning, but she could have given checkmate. But it's fine. She's anyway winning. Yeah.
Good contest, this good contest. And Anahita
Yeah, I think
Zaidifar has lost it.
so. Nia is the champion. She won a decisive game because they were the only two girls on 7 points, and Nia won that game. So she won the whole tournament. Congratulations. This is the second board. Right, it's super complicated. um, Materially, it's equal, but now white allows c4, e4. Sorry. Bishop on f is super awkward. She also loses a pawn immediately, but she need not take it. She can play something like she actually need not even have taken the pawn, but okay. Because the bishop on h1 was completely logged in after e4, and maybe something like rook g8 would have also been fine. Yeah, black is much better, but since it's a blitz game, hard to say what is going
Yes.
to happen. But black is very, very comfortable. अभी रुक g8 check आएगा कभी ना कभी. Oh, रुक g8. Oh. Oh, she could have even taken on g3, but she chose not to. She's like choosing the most simplest way to win. Um, doesn't want to give any chances. Oh, but bishop d5 now? She could have played bishop d5, but it's fine. Yeah, bishop d5 doesn't threaten anything anyway because you can't take on g8 because h1 queen. Oh, she gave up the h2 pawn. Time pressure. So many things are possible in time pressure. Bishop e5 check. f4 now. F4. Yeah, f4. Rook b2, b2. Both are okay. Both of them are on 10 seconds and it's the last round. So there must be some nerves. But I feel black will win this. Let's see. Now bishop a4 is forced. She could have played one more b5, but ठीक है. अभी हाँ हाँ pawn ले लो अभी g5 का. हाँ और f6 का भी pawn ले लो. Yeah.
Oh yes, queen is done. So now it's difficult for white to survive.
Yeah, she should keep giving checks so that there is no chance of stalemate. I mean, oh, now she also has a lot of time. I thought she was still playing on few seconds, but she gained a lot, right? Like she made a few moves
Yes,
very fast.
quick moves. Under 2 seconds has given her a lot of time.
Mhm. Nice, 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 nice.
Good game. Good game there by black and white as well. That is the end of the 9th round there, and we'll quickly go at the standings, and there we go. Soumya, you had mentioned about that, but Pipia, Ekaterine has done it.
Yeah. Oh, so Pipia, the
Yes,
game we
not
saw
Nia.
is the champion, not Nia.
Yes, not Nia,
We
but
were,
Pipia
yeah.
was tied on 7, so she's the one who goes ahead.
Oh, right, right. So this was the championship game. Oh, so they did not play
Yes,
against each other in the last round either. They probably played each other in like maybe the second or third round, that means.
yes, quite possible.
And yeah, and wow, congratulations to Pipia because both she played so consistently. We saw a lot of her games in our coverage. We covered most of her games, I think, and
Yes,
she played very consistently. And even this game, she completely crushed her opponent from at least the point that we started the game. She was completely in control and never let it go. So many congratulations to Pipia for winning the whole tournament and for all the players for playing really fighting chess. Today we saw some very interesting games and all the games were very like hard fought and they were not giving up at all. They were playing with so much patience and fighting spirit and I think the players were really motivated today. I could feel their energy. Sometimes you can feel the energy of the players even when online, even online. And I really felt that the players were very motivated today and playing with a lot of focus and concentration. So kudos to all the players. They did really well. Yeah.
yes, absolutely right. And congratulations to Pipia Katerine. She gets the laptop and a chance to represent her country at the higher level. So that's it from the under 17 girls finals. Thank you so much, Soumya Swaminathan, for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you discuss on chess.
Thanks, Chaitanya. It's always a pleasure to discuss chess with you and to be on this coverage covering the ISF World School Chess Online Championship. And see you all tomorrow for the 17 boys finals, which is also the final day of our coverage. So definitely excited, look forward to some very good games.
That is right, Soumya. Thank you so much for that. We'll be joining in tomorrow as well. Please tune in. Our viewers had been very exciting and very filled with a lot of expressions on Facebook and YouTube. So expecting the same feedback from everyone, from all our viewers on One Play Sports. So we'll be joining back tomorrow at the same time, 400 hours UTC, 7:30 p.m. IST for the Under 17 Boys Finals on One Play Sports. See you tomorrow then. Thanks for watching.